Welcome back everyone to Sweet Home 3D, and in this video we have two characters up here on the table here. So I do realize we're a little bit off the rails. This is not really what we do on the channel, but these models that we have here, we want to make them right, and right now they're not right. So we want to make them transparent, the sconce as well as the lamp here. Even though the lamp has the wrong texture on it at the moment, we will go in and fix that. But let's take a stroll up here and take a look at both of the models. So the sconce is supposed to be like a frosty glass. So when it's on, it's frosty. It's like white or soft white, and then the lamp is, I believe, supposed to be glass. Now it can be any texture or any color, I should say. Not that one. So we used a material to kind of fill it in, and I really wasn't filling it. And even with the material, it's not what's the word I'm looking for, like sheer, like you can't see through it. So in the bedroom now, we have a lamp. We found a lamp that you can actually see through the fabric. That's what we're looking for, because when we render, it's going to look really silly if the light doesn't go through the lamp shade. So we don't have the actual texture for that, for the glass. So I'm going to go back to the master bedroom project, find that lamp, and then bring it over here to a creation station, and then we can start working on this. Again, I know it's a little off the rails, but how about we go ahead and hop into this video. So here is our original color. It's like a stone silver, if you will. And I really believe this is supposed to be glass. Now, at the end of the video, we'll show you why it's not. But sometimes when we get third-party models, i.e. models not from the Sweet Home website, you get them where they're supposed to be glass, but they're not. And sometimes it's just a glitch. Some things, Sweet Home and the model don't talk well to each other when it comes to, I guess, the file extensions and things like that. I'm not sure. I'm not a wizard on those things, but in this case, I think the model creator meant for this to be glass, but not for it to be transparent. We'll show that at the end here. But this was a daunting task. This is something we'll probably not make a habit of, given the popularity of the last video. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy paste this lampshade, because I'm going to keep one here so we can compare it when we're finished, and the one that we copy I'm going to use for our guinea pig. So I'm going to place this one over here, and on this other side of the wall we have a work table I set up here. So we're going to head around to the other side of the wall here. We're going to head over to that work table, and we set this up for a reason. Right? Let's walk over here. So we're going to use the work table to help us out with this project here. So we want to take the lamp. We're going to put it on a 45-degree-ish angle so that the panels there are sticking out of the surface of the table. So they're flush with the surface of the table. Right? And then we can begin tracing around with the walls, similar to what we did with the overhead facade, just like that. So very, very similar. Though this was a little bit more, I would say, extravagant in the way that we need to, source that panel. It was a little bit more involved, I believe. But as you can see there, we need to straighten up. It's a little rough around the edges, so we'll have to play around with the wall, the distance and things like that, which we end up doing. So, yeah, it was a little bit extravagant. In the next shot here, we'll show you we needed to make a room out of the wall that we drew, just like the overhead fascia. We had to make a room for it. So that's the next step here. But it gets a little bit more, extravagant as time goes on. So, because this is the first time that we had dilly-dallied with something like this. Okay, now here you can see we start to tighten everything up. Looks a lot better. The lines are a little more straight, and yeah, we can live with that, because the more perfect this is, the better it's going to look at the end. The better the presentation. So we want to make this from the get go as as perfect as we possibly and humanly can. So as you can see here, we have the first floor of the structure. And now we actually need to make a second floor. So we discussed this in the last video. We have to go to our wall properties, and in there you can set the distance between two floors. Whether you want it to be 1 foot, 2 foot, 1.5 feet, you name the number, it will do it for you. So we set it to about 3 inches, something that we could actually work with, because it's not going to be 3 inches. The final product is not going to be 3 inches, in depth. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be depth. We're going to turn this, right side up, if you will, like that. And now its depth is actually 3 inches. So, but that's just so we can fool around with it, get it the way we want it, and then once we do that, we can dial back the depth there, because 3 inches is way too much. But this looks great. We got the transparency to just where you can see through it, just so. So that's that. From here, we can go ahead and import this, and we can actually start the headache of assembling the lampshade here. So let's get this out of the way here in a second. Oh, so this here, we've seen this. We have to dial in the degrees. All 4 panels have to have the same number of degrees, right? So I'm going to place myself over here, and if we look at the far rear panel and then the far left panel, you can see at the bottom there, they're not exactly straight. Like the line, like the space between them, you can kind of use the ground there. They're not exactly straight. They're very, very close, very close. So as time goes on here, we can begin to home in on the exact number that we're looking for, because we don't know what the magic number is. We actually have to find that for ourselves. So, and as we change the depth of the panels, that is going to actually change the degrees. So, learn that. That's something new. Didn't realize that was a thing, but I guess it is. We can see here, if you look at the front panel, right, and look at the left panel, again, you can really see it here. You can really see it clearly that the lines at the bottom is a lot thinner than went to the top. You can really see it now. Yep, absolutely. If you couldn't see it before, you can see it now. So what we want to do here is just, we'll forget about that for now. And I'm just using the 2D up above the floor plan there to get everything lined up. And then once we get everything assembled and in the way that we want it, then we can start dialing in again the degree that this is supposed to be in. We got to home in on that magic number, as it were. So that is that. So on the next shot, I believe, yep. So we have it all buttoned up. It's still not perfect, but we still have to get we're still working on the old degrees. And once we get that, then we will have ourselves, ladies and gentlemen, a lampshade, and it's transparent. Now I will say, because I am my own critique, right? Because if you don't critique your stuff, then someone will. So I'm going to do it first. So the lines there, the thickness is still not what we want, but we're going to go with it. And then the other part here, which there's nothing we can do about it, and I'm not going to whine too much about it, but the bottom there is flush, right? The bottom of each panel is flush with the ground when it's standing straight up, right? But then when we tilt it over, it's no longer, right? Take a glass, for example. You can take a glass and tip it over. The bottom edge is no longer flush with the ground. And so there's nothing we can do about that, because this isn't Blender. Everything that we do here is exclusively Sweet Home. So if we want to go work in Blender, we could do that. We won't make videos on that. But Anyway, there is the final product. Pardon me. Gotta clear the old throat. But yeah, this is really nice. I like it. I think we did very well. You know, on a scale of 1 to 10, honestly, I will give it about a 7.5 or 8, and that's pushing it. So we'll say 7.5 because I am not a model maker. But it's good enough for our presentation, our walkthrough, which is coming up in the next video. So please stay tuned for that. That is the bread and butter of what we do here on the channel. So you can see the room, we'll walk through, we'll talk about everything that's in the room because we didn't do a video on everything because that would be silly. But let's take a look up here. You can see that we have the cross beam there, the thing, you know, the I don't know what you call that. But look over here. You can just see that the lampshade is floating, and that's what we talked about in the beginning of the video. I believe that the creator here intended on this not being transparent, but they wanted it to be glass, right? But not transparent. So anyway, we made it glass and we made it transparent. I do believe that I would like this to be a little bit less transparent in retrospect. So, but it's okay. It's okay. We're still going to use it. We'll probably make it a darker color. Let's move over to the sconce. Now, we didn't make a video for the sconce only because it was easy at this point. We just took the lampshade and we changed the dimensions. We flipped it over on its head and put it on the base of the sconce. Super easy. There was no need to make a video, but this looks, I like it. You can see the inside components there. Really neat. I do like it. Probably my only concern is that the light bulb is not, itself is not transparent. So that's something we'll have to work on. And if we can't fix it, then we can't fix it. That's fine. We did what we came to do today. So with that, I think we're going to wind up the video here. Again, I do realize that this is not what we normally do. This is definitely off the rails for us. And we're not going to make a habit of this because we have a soft deadline, right? When we want to get this done. And by doing this, that pushes back that soft deadline. So, anyway, we're going to wrap up the video here. I want to thank everyone for hanging out. Give the video a thumbs up if you did like it. And if you're new, you like what we're doing here, consider subscribing, ringing the bell, and you'll be notified anytime we release. Oh, there goes my phone. Time to make a phone call. But you'll be notified anytime we release a video here on our channel. So with that, I want to thank everyone for hanging out, for watching, and for visiting the home of virtual home creation. Signing off for now. Goodbye, everybody.